What if Earth is not the pinnacle of habitability, but just one version of what life can cling to? What if, out there in the vastness of space, there are planets that do everything Earth does, but better? More stable climates, deeper oceans, stronger magnetic fields, longer-lasting ecosystems. What if the conditions that made us possible here are merely average, or even inferior, compared to the homes that nature has built elsewhere? These are not just hypothetical musings. They're scientific possibilities. And the planets we're talking about, they have a name: super-Earths. They're not fantasy. They're not theory. We've already found hundreds of them, orbiting distant stars, waiting patiently in the cosmic quiet. Some are close enough to study with our telescopes. Some are tantalizingly located within their stars' habitable zones. And many are so promising that scientists are beginning to wonder, could they be better cradles for life than the world we call home? Today, we set aside the Earth-centric lens. We open our minds to the possibility that the universe has built something more enduring, more welcoming, more perfect. This is the story of the super-Earths, and how they might change everything we thought we knew about life. To start, let's define our terms, because super-Earth can sound a little misleading. It doesn't mean a planet with superpowers or one that's necessarily Earth-like in atmosphere or environment. The super part simply refers to its size, specifically, a rocky planet larger than Earth, but significantly smaller than the gas and ice giants like Neptune or Uranus. Typically, super-Earths have a radius between 1.2 and 2 times that of Earth, and their masses can be anywhere from 2 to 10 times greater. That extra bulk makes a huge difference in how these planets behave. Their stronger gravity affects everything from atmospheric retention to geological activity, and those differences could be crucial for sustaining life over long time scales. And here's something mind-blowing. Super-Earths are the most common type of planet we've found in our galaxy. Our exoplanet surveys, Kepler, TESS, and others, have shown us that the universe loves to make these worlds. Strangely, our own solar system doesn't have a single one. We have tiny Mercury, Earth-sized Venus and Earth, and then we jump straight to gas giants. It's like the architect skipped a step. Some scientists believe our solar system once had super-Earths, but they were destroyed or ejected during its early chaotic years. So the only way to understand them is to look outward, across light years, beyond our sun, to other stars and their hidden worlds. Let's look at why so many researchers think super-Earths might be better suited for life than Earth. Start with atmosphere. A planet with higher gravity can hold onto gases more effectively. That means thicker, more stable atmospheres that protect against radiation, help regulate temperature, and create pressure conditions favorable for liquid water on the surface. Then there's geology. More massive planets have hotter interiors that stay active for longer periods. That leads to stronger tectonic activity, critical for recycling carbon, shaping continents, and stabilizing global climate. On Earth, plate tectonics play a key role in the long-term carbon cycle, keeping temperatures within a narrow band where life can persist. On a super-Earth, this process could be more efficient and more enduring. Magnetic fields are another factor. Earth's magnetic field is generated by the movement of liquid iron in its core, and it shields us from solar wind and cosmic radiation. A larger planet with a hotter core could have an even stronger magnetic field, offering even better protection for life. And finally, time. Super-Earths orbiting small, long-lived stars, like red dwarfs, could remain stable for tens or even hundreds of billions of years. Earth is about 4.5 billion years old and may only remain habitable for another billion. But a super-Earth orbiting a calm, cool star could give life trillions of years to evolve, adapt, and flourish. More atmosphere, more protection, more geological recycling, and more time. That's why some scientists call super-Earths not just habitable, but super habitable. But potential is one thing, reality is another. What would it actually be like to stand on a super-Earth? Would the surface feel familiar or alien? Could you breathe the air? Would you be crushed by gravity? Let's say you find yourself on a super-Earth just 50% larger than Earth. Gravity would be noticeably stronger, maybe 1.5 to 2 times what you're used to. Walking would feel like carrying a heavy pack. Running would be exhausting. Trees might be shorter, animals stockier, life more compact. If the planet is a water world, with oceans stretching across the entire surface, it could host strange aquatic ecosystems. Life may never crawl onto land, because there is no land. Evolution could take very different paths in an unbroken global sea. Complex intelligence might arise in the deep, hidden from space-based telescopes. But not all super-Earths are ocean planets. Some may have continents, weather systems, mountain ranges, even seasons. They might have breathable air, blue skies, rain, forests. They could be eerily Earth-like, yet subtly different in every direction. However, some super-Earths may go too far. Too thick an atmosphere, and greenhouse gases could trap heat like a pressure cooker. Too close to their stars, and they become desert worlds. Too much gravity, and plate tectonics may shut down entirely. There is a fine line between paradise and uninhabitable hell. Even so, the odds are in their favor. There are simply so many of them, and variety is nature's favorite strategy. The search for super-Earths is no longer speculative. We're finding them constantly, and we're getting better at studying them. Take Kepler 452b, a super-Earth orbiting a Sun-like star located about 1,400 light-years away. It's in the habitable zone, receives about the same amount of sunlight as Earth, and is believed to be around 6 billion years old. That's older than Earth, and possibly old enough for complex life to have had a long head start. Then there's TOI 700d, just 101 light-years away. It's in the habitable zone of a calm red dwarf and could potentially host surface water. That system is one of the best chances we currently have to study an Earth-sized or super-Earth planet in detail. With the James Webb Space Telescope, we're now starting to analyze atmospheres. By measuring the way starlight filters through a planet's atmosphere during a transit, we can identify chemicals like water vapor, carbon dioxide, methane, and maybe even oxygen, potential signs of biology. The tools are here. The targets are many. The era of super-Earth discovery has begun. So now we come back to the question we started with. Are super-Earths better for life than Earth? It's possible. In fact, based on what we understand so far, it might even be probable. Earth is wonderful, but it's not perfect. It's been through mass extinctions, ice ages, asteroid impacts, and climate swings. And it won't last forever. The sun will eventually swell into a red giant and boil away the oceans. Earth's days as a habitable planet are numbered, but a super-Earth around a quiet red dwarf star could remain stable for 10 times longer. If life has the right ingredients, it could start again and again and again. Billions of years from now, long after Earth is gone, a super-Earth might still be home to thriving alien civilizations, or even descendants of us, having made the leap to another world. Better air, better shielding, better climate, more time. Maybe the real question isn't whether super-Earths are better than Earth. Maybe the question is, why wouldn't they be?